stroll down Mike McCarthy way for the Dallas Cowboys as the Packers once again played spoiler to the Cowboys' plans. This one, though, stung just a little bit more than most, especially for head coach Mike McCarthy, who was unable to get it done against his former team. It was an emotional night, and we're here to take you back through the lows and the highs in Sunday's 31-28 loss at Lambeau Field. The Dallas Cowboys now sit at 6-3 ahead of another tough conference opponent. But before we just get there, what went wrong against the Packers? Mike McCarthy's reunion in the frozen tundra, nostalgic at first as he was greeted by his former play caller, Aaron Rodgers. Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb gave the Cowboys the lead early. The two wouldn't be so in sync later in the quarter, though. Confusion on the routes, and Dak picked off in the end zone by Rudy Gary. The Packers would capitalize with an Aaron Rodgers touchdown toss to Christian Watson. Almost like deja vu, Prescott intercepted again before the half. Another pass looking for Lamb. Another ball snagged and returned by Gary. And another Green Bay touchdown as Aaron Jones does the Marshawn Lynch leap into the end zone. 14 all at the half. And how about Tony Pollard quietly having another career night? Look at how he slices through that Packers defense. Tremendous blocking, and he's in for the score. Then Prescott with his third of the night, an absolute dime to Lamb downfield, 35 yards, and the Cowboys are looking hot. But things turn frigid in a hurry. The Packers rally behind a three-score performance from the rookie Watson to force OT. Dallas making the decision to go for it on 4th and 3. It proves costly, though. The Packers win it on a Mason Crosby field goal as this one finishes 31-28. An incredibly frustrating night for McCarthy and the Cowboys. The head coach speaking through the emotion after the game.
So many emotions going into this week and the way this game ended. How do you encapsulate all of it?
Well, it's two totally different things. I'm very frustrated with the ending of the game, obviously. I think just the biggest thing for us is we need to go out here and just learn from these games. I love these kind of games, and this that's exactly what I told these games. You need these tight games to get to where you want to go. So, and I thought we were in total control. That in overtime, obviously the penalties and the things, very, very, very frustrating. And but that's you got to overcome those things. And this group of men, they have it. But I'm just disappointed for them. So.
Yeah. Tim Kellis, Dallas Morning News. What was your thoughts on the 4th and 3? The field goal obviously doesn't end the game. But...
Yeah, and Tim, we were right on it. We were right on the line. Going north was the wind. Obviously we wanted to toss. They took the win, so we were right on the line for the field goal. And hey, to be honest with you, I felt we needed to go for it. I called it on second down, especially the way the game was going. It was big play. Penalty, big play, penalty, big play, penalty. So, our thing was just keep playing. We had good calls, so I'm fine with the decision. Obviously, I know we didn't convert, but 4th and 3, just didn't convert.
What did they do differently in the fourth quarter? Overtime, shut down.
Say it again.
What did they do differently to shut you guys down?
You mean schematically?
Yeah, well, you had it going in the first.
Yeah, no, they played well, man. I give credit to the other guys. They played well. They got some damn good players. Yeah, so it was. We were in a lot of run pass options and things like that. I thought Dak managed it well. Had some clean looks, but we had some big plays. Didn't go our way.
Clearly a visibly frustrated Mike McCarthy. So with that loss, the Cowboys drop to 6-3 and drop in the NFC East standings. Dallas now sits in third behind the 7-2 Giants and the 8-0 Eagles. Philadelphia will square off with fourth place Washington on Monday Night Football. Plenty more to talk about here on Cowboys Flashback. Coming up next, QB1 talks us through what went wrong at Lambeau Field.
Dallas Cowboys Flashback, presented by Reliant, is brought to you by AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys, and by Reliant, an NRG company. This segment is brought to you by AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
1 week ago, Dallas was celebrating its starting quarterback getting back into form, with Dak Prescott throwing a nearly perfect game in a 20-point win over the Bears. Sunday, however, was a different story. Despite throwing 3 touchdowns for the 27th time in his career, 2 game-changing interceptions made a huge impact early on. Prescott knew he wasn't perfect and shared how the Cowboys need to be better after the game.
Yeah, I mean, I got to go back and look at that on tape. I mean, obviously just details. Wasn't able to get a first down. Obviously, like we were able to do when we're scoring points, get first downs and continue drives and put pressure on those guys. And I mean, credit to them. Yeah, they stopped us right there. Stopped us a couple of times, gave their offense a chance, and those guys went and scored and made it go in overtime.
I saw you in the locker room. You kind of took a moment for yourself. How tough was this loss? You guys wanted to win it from Mike McCarthy. What was his mood as a game? How disappointed was y'all didn't get the fingers from him?
I mean, he was just disappointed we didn't take that step that we've talked about, right? Laying another brick and just building on what we've built on, building on what we've accomplished up to this point. Yeah, and it's tough. I mean, it was a playoff environment. You want to go out there and you want to win. And all of them hurt when you don't win, you don't capitalize or do what you expect to do. So I mean, but you got to remember it's one game. So for us, it's about just sticking together, knowing what we've accomplished and where we're going and who we are. So it was a tough game, tough environment. We'll learn from this one and. We've got to use it to make sure that we grow.
What was Mike's mood message?
Yeah, just honestly stick together. Just knowing that it was tough. Penalties and some other things stopped us, but just stick together. We've got a great brotherhood and a culture going, and we can't allow this game to hurt that.
Todd Archer, it's been how easy or difficult is it to keep that big picture in mind when you're 6-3, now in 3rd place in the division? You got other teams that you have to kind of climb over.
It's still a long season, and we have to control what we can. We can't worry about what those other teams are doing. We've got a good one coming up Sunday against a really good team, a team that's at the top of this division, conference. Excuse me. So for us, it's I don't want to say it's easy, but we know. But that's the part that the brotherhood is, and just being able to count on each other, have honest communication about what's going on, what we expect out of each other, and we'll continue to do that. And we'll get in there tomorrow, clean this one up, and make sure that we learn from this, and as I said, use it.
Now, despite those 2 picks, Prescott still managed to rewrite the history books. He passed Roger Staubach's record of all-time passing yards with 22,939. He's now 2nd in franchise history. He also now has 23 3-touchdown games, moving into 2nd behind Tony Romo, who leads with 40. Now, we can't place all the blame on the play caller. Cowboys Flashback is back after the break to break down the defensive miscues.
This segment was brought to you by AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
We got to hold our gaps. We got to come downhill and stop it. It's going to keep happening until we stop it, period. We can play as much, we can rush as much as we want, but until we put this flame out of this running the ball stuff, we're never going to be as good as we need to be, period. We got to get better.
Micah Parsons not holding back in the locker room after this one. Another week where the Dallas defense, who has been so elite and so consistent all season, couldn't stop the rush. Running back Aaron Jones scoring his 6th career touchdown against the Cowboys as the Packers packed on 207 total yards on the ground. Marking the 2nd straight week the Cowboys have given up over 200 rushing yards. Last week, the Bears piled on 240. It's a weakness that's holding the defense back and continues to be a thorn in the Cowboys' side.
I feel like we made a lot of mistakes throughout the game, especially when they counted at the end of the game. I mean, whether they was good calls or questionable calls, whatever the case may be, them is just mistakes. Them is just mistakes that Obviously, in a game like this, against a team like Green Bay, you can't make those type of mistakes when the game comes down to the line, and I feel like that's kind of where we let it slip away at the end.
How do you look at the run defense and where it is and what you need to do?
Yeah, I feel like that was more of an issue for us today. Obviously, if you pound the ball and you run the ball back to back, and you're giving up yardage, eventually, something's going to come open because guys is going to be trying to play the run more. So I feel like that's just something right now that we've been having an issue with more so throughout this year. I feel like that's something we definitely need to put out because we got some great backs that we got coming up down the road. A lot of them's probably top 5 from what I've been saying. We got Minnesota next week. I think Indianapolis the week after, and then we got Saquon, obviously. So them 3 right there is the top 3 backs in the league, if not the top 3, top 5. So that's definitely a fire we got to work on and fix that up right now.
I know you haven't watched film yet of today, but given that this run defense has been a persistent issue, does it feel like it's more communication, tackling angles? Like, how can you describe what's happening?
Each week is something different. It's something different. So I can't say right now what exactly it was. Obviously, I feel like tackling, from a whole, we got to be better, man. We got to be able to stop right. A lot of guys getting leakage yardage on us, and I feel like we're capable, and we got guys that's dominant enough to be able to stop the leakage yard. So I feel like we cut the leakage yard out, fit the run how we're supposed to, and we're coached out to be throughout the weekend. Feel like we'll be all right going down the road. But it starts in the classroom. We got to all get on the same page and be able to make the same corrections that we're all talking about and fix them.
The Dallas secondary could not contain Christian Watson, the rookie with 3 touchdowns last night, including one that saw cornerback Anthony Brown go out with a concussion. They'll have to figure it out and fast. Dallas will face some of the top backs in the coming weeks, including Dalvin Cook on Sunday. Things not all bad for Dallas, though. When we return, we'll talk about a couple career performances on the offense.
This segment was brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
There's been questions all season about CeeDee Lamb's ability to take over for Amari Cooper as the #1 wide receiver, and he delivered a performance worth silencing some of that noise. A career day for Lamb, including a 2-touchdown performance for the first time since last season. Lamb finished with a personal best 11 receptions for 150 yards, becoming the fastest player in franchise history to eclipse 200 catches. He achieved the feat in 41 games, 2 faster than former wide receiver Des Bryant.
First to say this one was for Coach. If you were speaking to Coach right now, what would you say?
We fought hard, most definitely. Obviously, we came up short, but I feel like we left a lot of things out there, self-inflicted flags in the back end, so we just got to capitalize and play better in the end.
Do you feel like it should have been pass interference on that 3rd down?
Yes, no question.
What was the did you guys get any explanation?
No. They don't never give us any explanation. They just call flags on us and not on an opposing team.
Being up by 14 and losing that lead, it's extra painful. I don't want to pour salt on the wounds, but when it comes to a game like this, what's the takeaway?
A better finish. I feel like us as a team, all 3 phases of the ball, I feel like we kind of, I wouldn't say slow up because everything that we've done fast-paced, and every one of us was fighting hard to the end. But I feel like your confidence kind of get negated every time, the refs get involved, and then just kind of putting ourselves in bad situations and trying to dig ourselves out of it. So just stay on top of the flags, play better technique, and just go out and win.
It's probably hard not to focus on anything other than the end of the game, but go back to earlier in the football game, the interception where Dak was targeting you. Hopefully you guys had a discussion afterward and maybe sorted some things out, and then obviously the production in the second half was there for you guys. Was there something you guys figured out during that discussion?
Just understanding that we always got to be on the same page, and when we're not, it's obviously dreadful, and it looks bad on both parties. So just kind of trying to make each other look good, compliment each other, and hopefully come out with a win.
I know the end result wasn't what you wanted, but did you feel like you guys really did kind of build from that? Because what you did in the second half certainly worked.
Most definitely. We've gotten better throughout the game and as the game went, and you could see the confidence between us both. It was just building. I felt like it was nothing that we could do wrong, but at the end of the day, we come here to win. We're not here to, build a bond. Yeah, we are, but at the end of it all, we need to win.
CD not the only one with a big day. Running back Tony Pollard once again stepping up without Ezekiel Elliott on the field. Although Zeke missed his second straight game with a knee injury, Pollard didn't miss a beat. 115 rushing yards and another saucy score. He had a career-high 22 carries.
How big was when you were out, just contributing to the running attack, especially in that one?
He did a great job, coming in, making sure the offense didn't, slip off, making sure they just picked off where we left off at, and had some good runs in there.
You guys
appreciate it. Thanks.
Third down play there in overtime. There could have been a flag for pass interference. Do you guys feel there should have been?
I mean, playing for the Cowboys, those type of calls we normally don't get on our side, so it's expected. We just have to be better. We got to put it on ourselves. At the end of the day, we control what we do, so we just got to be better.
Was there a point in the game where you felt like things were not starting to go your way?
I would say we started off kind of slow at the beginning, but we did a good job picking things up as the game went on, getting into the flow and just getting in rhythm.
How disappointing is this one overall? I mean, to have a big lead, especially in the fourth quarter.
It's big. It hurts. Any loss in this league, it hurts, especially an overtime loss. So we just got to, come in Monday and get better.
Pollard had 123 scrimmage yards in Sunday's game, which officially put him in the 3K club in that category. Time to start looking ahead to the next one. We're back to get you up to speed with the Cowboys' next matchup against the Vikings right after this.
Dallas Cowboys Flashback, presented by Reliant, was brought to you by AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Reliant, an NRG company. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.
The Minnesota Vikings had a little high-stakes overtime football of their own yesterday, battling the Bills to a wild finish. Kirk Cousins threw for 357 yards as the Vikings defense picked off Josh Allen in the end zone to seal the deal. It was a 33-20 win in overtime. Minnesota now with the second-best record in the entire league and will host the Cowboys next week. Owner and general manager Jerry Jones shared his thoughts after the game.
I know everybody associated with the Cowboys are as frustrated with coming up here and having a chance. We're rested, had 2 weeks off, ready to play. Everybody's ready to go, and just couldn't get it done. We've got to go back to work.
When you think about the fashion that you lose this game, where it's a 14-point lead going into the fourth quarter, I mean, does that make it that much tougher?
It's frustrating. It's just frustrating. We, like I said, we're healthy. We got our guys out there, but they fought back. They fought hard, and right at the end, we just couldn't get our plays.
Jerry,
that's very frustrating.
Was there a play or two that comes to mind where you felt like things were starting to not go your way?
Well, not really. I think, generally speaking, I thought that if we could take the ball on in the overtime, as late as the overtime. But for me, my frustration was getting in the overtime to begin with, but that's the game. Give them their due. They had a great crowd out here. They're a team that knows how to do what they did tonight. They've had a lot of games here. And again, very disappointing for our team.
Hey Jerry, so much talked about Mike McCarthy coming back to Lambeau. So when you add that to the context of how this thing turned out,
yeah. Well, I know it's disappointing for him, but I think it's probably icing on the cake for the Packer fans. This was a big win for the Green Bay Packers. Make no mistake about it. And we'll have to really dig deep and get some things out of this that help us. We, of course, in no way are dismayed about our season. This is not that I'm talking about. What you're seeing in me is just the frustration of just walking off the field when we felt and tasted victory, but to give Green Bay credit for hanging in there and getting this victory. You'd like to come back after you've had your bye when you're feeling good about your health and come out there with a lot of energy and get a game like this. I was really proud of our team, the way we came back and the way we started the second half. And I thought we took some pretty good shots in a lot of different ways there in the first half, but then came back out that second half and really did a good accounting.
So a lot to work on before the Vikings game as the 6-3 Dallas Cowboys go back to the drawing board this week. That'll do it for us here on Cowboys Flashback. We will see you next. It'll be after week 11. But until then, I'm Haley Sutton. We'll see you next week.